and after that a pattern, and then the target. So what this pattern and target it will do, if this particular pattern is matching, then this particular target will be loaded. For example, if I hit http://trainings.com, that means what is the pattern? The pattern is empty because I did not written any other pattern, so the pattern is empty, so the home page gets loaded. So if this particular pattern is matching in the URL, this particular target will be called. So initially, whenever you run your application, only domain name will be there in the URL. No pattern will be available in the URL. Is it clear? No pattern will be there in the URL initially. So obviously the pattern is empty initially. Only domain name is there. No URL pattern is there. And what I'm mentioning here, I mentioned was, if you find the URL pattern as empty, then call this particular target. So what is the target I asked to call? The target that I asked to call is target view1. Now it jumps to the target section. So there is a separate target section, just like we have a routes section. So similarly, there is a target section, and it directly jumps to the mentioned target, which is target view1. So it goes here. Now inside this particular target view1, all the 5 properties, they are default properties, but the only property that we need is the view name. Means what is the web page or view I need to load. So it is saying you need to load the web page called view1. So as a result, it will pick this view1 from the view folder and load that into the view container. So that is the reason, guys, you can see the view1 in the output. So this is the domain name of your business application studio without, whenever you run the application from the BAS. Clear? So this is the complete flow of execution. Index.html, component.js, manifest.json, root view configuration, inside the root view, your base view, the application base view, and inside that the view container gets loaded, and inside the view container, initially view container is empty, and basing on the demand means the demand might be from the URL pattern, or the demand might be by clicking some button or something. So you will be loading the next views, the actual views, into the view container. And who is doing that? This is done by the router. Okay. So now what we are quickly going to do is, our application contains only the view1. So let us create another web page that is view2. When you add a new view, new web page, obviously you need to assign a pattern for that in the routing. And there is a extra target you need to keep in the target section, because don't forget this equation, the number of web pages must be equal to the number of routes and must be equal to the number of targets. So if you have 2 web pages, then you should have 2 routes and 2 targets. And one more important point, there can be only one URL pattern which can be empty. I cannot keep 2 URL patterns empty for 2 web pages. In simple words, each and every URL pattern must be unique. So if I have to create a view2, I need to define my view2 with a URL pattern in my this particular route. I need to create one more route here with another URL pattern. Okay, so let's do that. So first we'll start with the creation of the view. So whenever you create a view, you also need to create its controller. The reason is there is a 1:1 relation between the view and controller. You need to take care of it. view creation will not automatically create its controller. Remember this, guys. So now how to create a new view? You need to go to the view folder, right click, and there is an option called new file. So select it and give the name of the view. So I'm giving it as view2.view.xml. So now you have created the view. Now you also need to create its controller. So go to the controller folder, right click, new file, and give the name as view2.controller.js. So remember, every view will end with .view.xml. Every controller ends with .controller.js. When you create a view, you can see there is no skeleton code. Skeleton code is mandatory, guys. There is no skeleton code of the view. From where you can get this skeleton code? Normally what we do in the real time is we copy it from the view 1. So copy this, Control C and Control V. Now here you need to do two important changes. So you can change the title. So from I am view 1 to I am view 2, because this is view 2. And controller name should point out to the view 2. By the way, let me explain this skeleton code of the view. Line number 1 to the line number 7, whatever the code is there, so this code is called skeleton code. What do you mean by skeleton code? Skeleton code is the code which should be bare minimum present for a web page to run. So without this bare minimum code, this web page will not run, guys. So this bare minimum code is called as skeleton code. The skeleton code starts with a MVC:view tag and it ends with MVC:view, and then it points to its controller by using controller name. The controller of view 2 is, so it is view 2 controller and it is the complete path of that particular controller. So you can see this is web app folder and then controller folder and then the controller. These libraries you can ignore as of now. Every web page will be defined with SAP.yum library because 90 to 95% UI elements that you use in your day-to-day classes, they are from SAP.yum library. So that is the reason SAP.yum library is by default defined in every view as a part of the skeleton code. Next, the line number 4, the page stands for a web page. And this is the ID of the web page, and this is the title of the web page, and this is the content of the web page. As of now, there is no content. But if you want to create some content, let me just create a button and show you. Just as an example, you can create a button as well. So I'm just going to create a button here. Button text equal to sample button. So anyway, we have so many classes to understand the UI elements. Don't worry on that. So now you can see the sample button on the web page. Got it? Right. So now we successfully created our new web page, which is view 2, and the new controller, that is view 2 controller as well. Now coming to the equation, the number of web pages must be equal to the number of routes and must be equal to the number of targets. Now I have 2 web pages, but do I have 2 routes? No. Do I have 2 targets? No. So let us go to the manifest.json to make this equation correct. Now this is my routes. Copy from line number 80 to the line number 86 to create a new route. So we don't type it, guys, in real time. We copy and paste this configuration because typing this configuration is very, very difficult. Nobody do in the real time. Nobody does it in the real time. Okay. Now let me copy and put a comma here. Paste it. Now name it is calling as route view 1. Now you call this as route view 2. Pattern. So remember the pattern must be unique. For each and every web page, there should be a unique URL pattern. Remember, no pattern should be same. No two URL pattern should be same. Okay. So here, since it is very first web page, the pattern empty should be given, because as per the web application guidelines, there should be at least one web page which has to be loaded on a empty pattern. Getting it? Because when I hit rizwantrainings.com, there is no pattern. Now on the empty pattern, if you do not load any web page, what the end user will think? He will think I typed a rizwantrainings.com, but none of the web page has got loaded. And you will scold the developer. Who is this bloody developer? You don't know even the basic coding, right? So that is what happens if you do not load any web page on the empty pattern. So we have loaded this view1 on the empty pattern. Now let us give the pattern as second view. So giving this particular pattern in second view means that after the domain name, you need to write /second view to load your second view. That is the meaning of this. Now the target, so target should be another target view2. Now you need to go to the target section, copy the existing target, Control C, Control V, and change the name. And don't change any other thing. So change only the view ID and the view name. So view ID, I'm calling this as view2, and the view name, I'm calling this as view2. That's all, my dear friends. Now the complete flow of execution is already completed. Now we can test our second view as well. Now you can see this is my view 1. Now I will go to the URL. In the URL, I will say /second view, because this is what I declared as a pattern here, second view. And in SAP UI5, there is a practice, and that is domain name and the URL pattern. These two are separated with a hash. This is SAP UI5's practice. Okay. So now let me hit enter. We'll see whether view 2 gets loaded or not. So I hit enter. Now let us see if second view will get loaded or not. Second view is not getting loaded. The reason is we fill the view 2, but we forget to fill the view 2 controller skeleton code. Okay, so you can copy that from the view 1, guys. So Control A, Control C, go to the view2.controller.js and paste it here. Okay, so in this entire coding, which is the skeleton code, you just need to change the name of this controller, which is view2. That's all. Now let us see if this gets loaded or not. Hit enter. Just hold on. Yeah, now you can see I am view 2. Loaded. Your second view has loaded. Now let me just switch from view 1 to the view 2 and view 2 to the view 1. So I'm removing this. So if I remove this particular pattern /second view, so which view gets loaded? There is no pattern now. No pattern means empty pattern. Empty pattern means view 1 gets loaded. See, web page 1 got loaded. Now I'm keeping the pattern /second view. So now which view should be loaded? Let me hit enter. View 2 got loaded. Okay. So this is the flow of execution of SAP UI5 application. I hope you understand. Let me just summarize today's class. So in today's class, we have started from the view container, and we completed the flow of execution. Okay. So view container is a component which can store any number of views, which can hold any number of views, but it shows only one view at a time. Okay. So all the actual views like view 1 and view 2, all these things will get loaded inside the view container. these actual views will be picked by the router from the view folder and load them into the view container. So this is the rest of the part we discussed in today's class. So keep this diagram as a reference. This diagram clearly explains the flow of SAP UI5 application. So in the flow, the very first view that gets loaded is called root view. Root view is also called as a base view. The technical name of the base view is app.view.xml. The app.view.xml provides a view container, the orange color one. This view container, as we discussed, it can hold any number of views. Initially, the view container is empty. There is a person called router. The router checks the URL patterns in the currently running application. So if the pattern is empty, okay, so if the pattern is empty, the router will check the routing configuration. So in that particular routing configuration, whatever the route which is having the pattern empty, it recognizes that target and it executes that target. As a result, the view 1 gets loaded in the output. So when the pattern is changed to second view, again the router will recognize the pattern, change in the pattern. So now the pattern is second view. Yeah, this is second view. So it will, after recognizing the pattern, it calls the target. The target is target view 2, and you can see the target view 2 is loading the view 2. So that is the reason in the output you can see the view 2. So that's all for today's class. If you have any questions, you can ask me, guys. Otherwise, you can leave.
There is one Madhvi here. There is one question.
Yeah.
It's regarding to the route and the target. Since you said how many web pages are there, that many routes and targets will be there, right?
Yes.
So in that case, is it one-to-one to the web page to route to and target, or how it will be?
One-to-one only. See, this is one route and this is its target. This is route 2 and this is its target. So like this, whenever you create a web page, new web page, you will create a new route and you will create a new target.
Yes. Okay.
Clear, Madhavi?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Anil. Yeah, Anil, proceed.
There is one Madhvi here. There is one.
For today's class, you can see the target view 2 is loading the view 2. So that is the reason in the output you can see the view 2.